Do you ever identify a limiting belief but stay stuck in believing in its limitations? At one point in my own life, I was completely blinded by my own irrationality and thought all of it was true. Every last defeating, depressing, disempowering bit of it. I can still recall the feeling of believing that my lack and limitation thoughts were set in stone, that they were based in reality and true, cold, hard facts. I can remember thinking things like, here we go again. This is happening again, so it must be true. It's a fact because it's my experience. This is a common stage on the journey that most people encounter. The only way out is to persevere until your desire for change outweighs the belief in the illusion of the old irrational idea. This reminds me of Randy, a young man who'd been suffering from depression. As Randy was examining his belief system, he arrived at the awareness that he didn't believe that he could be happy, because happiness was always out there somewhere in his future. When he was little, his happiness was based on ideas of someday we'll go to Disneyland or wait until Christmas. When the holiday had passed and he still wasn't happy, he would have to come up with some other thing to look forward to, another future fantasy. I'll be happy when blank happens. When asked, how's that working for you? Randy was uncertain. He shared that he believed that it was really true that he'd never be happy, and that happiness is unattainable, and that it would always be out of his reach. Here, Randy did not yet have the decisive power to update his irrational belief to a more supportive belief. There was no clear, yes, I'm ready. No determination, no decisiveness, no access to a higher level of truth for him. Because it's extremely important to trust the process of unraveling at each person's own unique pace, Randy could not be pushed to a higher level of truth than he was ready to receive. When a higher level of truth is not yet present, the next option is simply to be open to the possibility that something could be better. When asked, are you open to the possibility that you could be happy right now? Randy replied that he would like to believe that it was possible, but he just wasn't sure that he could. Here, not only had Randy decided not to make a change in his belief system, he wasn't even really ready to or willing to be open to a greater possibility. It was as if he was sitting in front of his computer, staring at the open document with the old belief written on the screen, I'll never be happy. But he just couldn't bring himself to write something new. There was nothing to click saved because he hadn't yet claimed his power to make a change. Sometimes people get very stuck in their old perception of reality. Understand that you create your own individual reality, literally, based upon what you believe to be true at the time. And sometimes what you create feels really, really real. People will say things like, but it's true. Such and such really does happen to me all the time. So how can I believe differently? What I had to learn, and what you can learn too, is that yes, we do indeed have certain experiences, but things only happen that way because we believed they would happen that way first. Other people around us are having entirely different experiences in similar situations. Understand that if you don't like something in your life, your power to change it can only come when you decide to change it. When you decide to change what you believe about it. This is because your view of the truth is relative to your current perspective. It is one of life's strange paradoxes because what you are experiencing looks real, feels real, seems real, and therefore you think it must always be true. And yet it will only continue to be real for you if you continue to believe that it's so. Is there a particular limiting belief that you feel stuck in right now? See if you can identify it. Then ask yourself, am I open to the possibility that this could change? If you find yourself getting stuck on something that you really think is true, yet you know is limiting, and you're really sick of creating that reality, you can also try asking yourself, do I want this to continue to be true and real for me, or would I like to create a different outcome? Don't rely on the past or current outer appearances to determine your truth. Appearances are deceiving because you can change your perspective the moment you decide to believe in something more empowering. If you don't believe that something could be different, it won't be. If you are, at the very least, open to the possibility that things could change if you update your beliefs, then things can begin to change. Say, I'm open to the possibility that this could be different. Action step. If you feel unable to see a higher truth, just be willing to remain open to the possibility that it could be different. Declaration. I am now open to the possibility that I can believe differently. Breathe that in. Many blessings of joy and vibrant freedom.